Hello, welcome to Deacon's NFL Talk. I'm your host, Deacon, and welcome back to another episode on the channel. Today, we have about 8 or 9 topics this week, so it should be a pretty long episode. After those topics, we have maybe like 1 or 2 quick hits. It's been a quiet week, quick hits-wise. And then after that, we will go to, I believe, we could start replacing quick hits with power rankings, like my power rankings. So let me know in the comments if you want to do that. So yeah, after quick hits, we'll do power rankings, and if you want me to swap those two out, like replace quick hits with power rankings, that'd be awesome. But then after that power rankings, then we have the week 9 recap, and then after that we have week 10 predictions, and then that should sum up the episode. Oh, by the way, we have reactions before the power rankings. So, and then then NFL fantasy, start 'em, sit 'em. And yeah, that would sum up the episode. This is Deacon's NFL Talk. All right, everybody, we're going to jump right into this. So we're going to start off with the first topic, as always. And this week, I think I said this a little bit, something like this last week. But Isaiah Pacheco is indeed eyeing a late November return. Obviously, in case you didn't know, in week 2, he suffered like a fractured fibula against Cincinnati. He's been out ever since. All right, we're coming into week 10. He's been out for, that's like, what, 8 weeks now? So, I mean, he's obviously, he was supposed to be for 4 weeks. I think it was like a 4 to 6 week thing, and he's obviously chosen the longer path to returning. But I mean, according to the NFL, Pacheco could begin practicing in around like the next 2 to 3 weeks, I heard. So that would be huge for them. I mean, like I said, late November, so we could see him maybe the 23rd or the 30th back in uniform. It could even get pushed to like early December, like December 7th. Nobody knows at this point. So we'll see when he starts practicing. I don't think he started practicing yet unless I missed something. So, yeah, that's pretty much for that. But after Pacheco underwent surgery on his fibula, it was reported that he'd missed. Yeah, it was not 4 to 6. It was 6 to 8 weeks. We're coming in for the 8th week. Week 10. This is the 8th week he's going to be out, and I would say that it'll be close. So let me think. He was injured week 2, then 8 weeks later, it's week 10. So it's taken a while for him to get back, but I'm not surprised. I mean, if you didn't watch that game or you didn't see his injury, like it kind of reminded me of the Nick Chubb injury he suffered, like when Nick Chubb suffered in last season. It kind of reminded me of that. His like knee kind of bent sideways or something. I hate those kind of injuries, and like those are the worst injuries that you really can have. But yeah, hopefully the Chiefs are gonna need him back. I mean, the Chiefs are only getting healthier, and yet no one has beaten them yet. It'll be interesting to see though, because obviously they're coming off overtime win against the Buccaneers, even though it was kind of rigged. Tywon Taylor had a blatantly obvious false start, and obviously the rest didn't catch it. But I mean, the Chiefs kind of have an easy schedule. I mean, other than one of these weeks or something. But I mean, Broncos, easy win. Honestly, as a Bengals fan, I need the Chiefs to win this week or on tomorrow, because it'd really help us. Obviously, coming off a Thursday Night Football loss to the Ravens, that would help us a lot. And then after that, then you have the Bills, which I'm going to be very interested to see who wins that game. Panthers, easy. Raiders, easy. Chargers, that would be interesting, but I feel like the Chiefs will come away with that one. The Browns, pretty easy. Texans and Steelers will be interesting, and then you have the Broncos to finish off the season. So, I mean, I would say there's at least 2 to 3 losses in there. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, hopefully Pacheco will return to his old form. That's one of the things, like, whenever you see those kind of injuries, you just really hope that they can return to, like, their football ways and how, I mean, Pacheco could return, like, next week, week 12 or week 13. So, yeah, I mean, I would say either the last I guess I would say that Pacheco returns either November 24th or December 8th or something, whenever they play, honestly, I guess. But, I mean, the former 7th-round pick in 2022 ran for 313 yards and 3 touchdowns before suffering the injury he suffered. So, I mean, he's a really good back, and I feel like we can all agree on that. He is very talented at what he does. And I guess, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's been kind of hard on the Chiefs to be the offense that everyone expects him to be without Pacheco. So yeah, hopefully he can return soon for them. But all right, second topic: Chris Olave suffers yet another concussion, his second of the year. The good news is that he was released from the hospital. This happened against the Panthers last week in the loss to Carolina. He was carted off when he got sandwiched in between like two Panthers defenders. So, I mean, and apparently, like, Derek Carr faced criticism from Michael Thomas, I guess. I don't even know why. I mean, sure. I mean, you throw the ball and he's about to get sandwiched. I mean, yeah, you should take the blame. But, I mean, it's kind of crazy that they're, like, giving a bunch of backlash. But I just feel so bad for him because, like, Olave is very talented. I mean, I remember watching him at Ohio State. Him and Garrett Wilson, that was an insane duo to watch. And then him, Garrett Wilson, and Marvin Harrison Jr. all on one team. Those three were unstoppable forces. And I wouldn't say that Chris Olave isn't good. I think he is. I mean, the Saints' offense is horrible. I mean, they're horrific without Chris Olave. I mean, let's be real, because, like, Olave, I would say, is probably their number one receiver on the Saints. I mean, I would say it's debatable between him and Rashid Shaheed. I mean, obviously, Shaheed, I'm pretty sure, is still, I don't know if he's still injured or not. He suffered a season-ending injury. That's right. So they're without Olave and Shaheed. But, I mean, after Olave was carted off, he was taken to a local Carolina hospital after he lost, I guess, his consciousness. But, yeah, I mean, the good news was that he did return with the team back home to New Orleans. So that's the good news there. Hopefully he will get healthy. I mean, I don't know if he suffered more or less concussions than Tua. I mean, at some point you have to consider wearing a guardian cap. I know they look ugly, but when you're Tua or Chris Olave, I feel like you have to consider wearing one for sure. I mean, after the hit though, I was watching this. I wasn't watching the game, but I saw when it happened. But there was 4 flags, like, immediately. They all started flying in that area at the almost pretty much the exact same time. I mean, it penalized Xavier Woods. I don't know if he got ejected or not. I don't think he did. I mean, it's football. You shouldn't eject him for that. But in today's football, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So, I mean, this is already Olave's 5th concussion in 4 years. I mean, this is bad. This is bad news for him. And we'll see what happens. Like, will it take a long time for him to recover? Kind of like how Tua did. I feel like it took Tua quite a long time to get back to playing. I mean, just returned just last week after he injured it in week 2. So he was gone. What is that? 6 weeks? No, I can't do the math in my head right now. But like. It feels like it took Tua Tagovailoa forever to get back to the field. I could be wrong, but that's just me. Probably didn't feel super long, but yeah, he was gone. He didn't play for 7 weeks. I mean, that's a long time to be out. So, yeah, hopefully Olave will get better because the Saints need him really badly. So, third topic: the Raiders' offensive coordinator Lou Getsy and 2 other offensive assistants were fired after the 41-24 blowout loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. That game, honestly, even as a Bengals fan, that game kind of started to get boring. It was a blowout. I'm telling you that. I mean, after the Getsy firing, though, it makes him one of the quickest assistant coaches to be fired, like, in NFL history. And I guess Mike McCoy was fired after just 7 games in 2008. So he's not far behind. I mean, 7 weeks. I mean, you're only 2 weeks off. So I mean, the Raiders offense, if like I was watching the game as a Bengals fan obviously, but when I was watching it, I noticed that eventually the Raiders took Gardner Minshew out of the game and replaced him with Desmond Ridder. So now they might have a quarterback competition there. Who knows what's going to happen there? I mean, this was only Getsy's first year as Raiders offensive coordinator, and same for the two other assistants, which is kind of a coincidence. James Craig was the team's offensive line coach um, and quarterbacks coach. Sorry, no. And then Rich Scangarello, I think is how you say it, was a quarterback coach. So I mean, that was their first year in the Raiders staff in those positions. I mean, that's kind of wild. I mean, all of them gone, like fired. I mean, I'm not really that surprised. I mean, Trey Hendrickson had a career high 4 sacks in that game. He now leads the league right now, I believe, with 11 sacks on the year. So, I mean, am I surprised? Not really that they fired him. It'll be interesting to see because obviously I feel like everyone remembers last year when the Raiders fired what's his name, Mike McDaniel, I believe. No, is that his name? I can't. No, that's the Dolphins head coach. Why am I forget the Raiders coach last year. He was like he did it for a little bit. I forget his name. I know it has the last name McDaniel. I'm pretty sure. I'm positive. I could be wrong though, but I just remember last year. Antonio Pierce came in to replace him, and he went 5-4. I mean, he was coaching the Raiders really good. I mean, he was doing really good at what he did there. This year's definitely not been the same. I mean, this is not the Raiders team that is going to beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised that they had a change. And the offensive side. I mean, their defense, you have the weapons. You have Max Crosby. You have Jack Jones, who got that pick six late in the game. Kept him alive, but eventually, I mean, ultimately, the Bengals were going to win that game anyway. But, yeah, I mean, something has to change on offense. I don't know what they're going to do with the Gardner Minshew situation with Aiden O'Connell still out from a thumb injury. We'll see what happens. Maybe they will have a quarterback competition with Ridder. And Minshew, I would say Minshew's on the hot seat right now. I would not be surprised if the Raiders went in the draft next year and took a quarterback, maybe like a Jalen Milroe, Shador Sanders. I mean, it all depends on if you get a top draft pick. I mean, I don't think you're going to get Jalen Milroe or Shador Sanders if you're outside of the top 10. So we'll see what happens, with the Raiders. Something needs to change, that's for sure. But all right, we're moving on to the next topic. The Saints fire head coach Dennis Allen after losing 7 straight games. Yes, you heard that right. This is a Saints team that started 2-0. Okay, the New Orleans Saints started 2-0. I mean, they honestly were looking like a pretty good football team until everything just fell apart. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy. I mean, they go from absolutely smoking the Cowboys and the Panthers, putting 40-plus points in the first 2 weeks, to losing to the Eagles by 3, losing to the Falcons by 2, losing to the Chiefs, getting blown out by the Buccaneers 51-27, losing to the Broncos by 23 points. You lose to the Chargers 26-8, then you lose to the Panthers by 1. It's a mess. How do you beat? I mean, I'm not really surprised that they actually smoked the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers obviously went on last week and got revenge. But how do you go 2-0 with 40-plus points? They were looking like a scary team. I'm not even kidding. They were looking like they were going to be one of the top teams. I would say at least top 10. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised. They were coming off smoking the Cowboys 44-19. I mean, I was like, are the Saints legit? I mean, sure, injuries has held them back. Chris Olave is gone now for who knows how long. Rashid Shaheed suffered a season-ending injury. Derek Carr, oblique injury. He was out for 4 to 6 weeks. And really your only piece that they had was Alvin Kamara. And he's really been their only best player all year. I mean, despite, I'm saying, I'm saying Alvin Kamara's been their best player on offense with Olave and Rashid Shaheed with injuries. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is an offensive problem because after they blew out the Cowboys, I mean, you barely lost to the Eagles. You barely lost to the Falcons. You lost to the Chiefs by probably about 13 points. And then you got blown out by the Buccaneers. You lose by 23 to the Broncos, who are a really good team, by the way. You lose to the Chargers by several points, maybe by I'm not gonna do the math right now. Then you lose to the Panthers. Like if you lose to the Panthers, you know something's wrong. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not really surprised that they fired Dennis Allen. I guess the interim head coach, the special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi will take over as the interim head coach. So I mean, this is the second time in Allen's coaching career that he was fired during the season. I mean, the Raiders fired him 4 games into the season, sometime. I'm not sure when, but this just cannot happen. Like, how do you put up 47 points in week 1, 44 points in week 2, and then you don't put up 30 plus for the rest of the year? Like, they were close to 30 plus, but their highest that they got after that was 27 points. I mean, you could at least save those points for like the Eagles game. Could have saved them for the Falcons game, the Chiefs game. I don't save them for the Buccaneers game because that wouldn't have done anything. But I mean, we'll see if the Saints can turn this around. They have the Falcons this week at home. I think that's going to be a loss. And they have the Browns. That one would be interesting. Then the Rams. Yeah, I don't know. They're 2-7 after starting 2-0. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, Allen leaves the Saints with a record of 18-25 and not a single playoff berth. So, not a good coaching career in New Orleans. So, not really surprised that they fired him whatsoever. I mean, I knew there had to be a change at some point. You have to think. But anyway, the next topic we're going to go to Dak Prescott. He suffered like a hamstring injury just last week. He will be out multiple weeks and will likely be placed on IR. So really devastating news for Cowboys fans. I mean, the Cowboys were actually looking pretty promising. I don't know. I have it right here. I'm going to see what my prediction was for the Cowboys coming into this year. I had the Dallas Cowboys going. Let's see if we can find it. I had the Cowboys going 11-6 this year, and they've completely failed those expectations by a mile. And it's only gotten worse. I mean, since Prescott is on IR, the most important games he could miss is against the Eagles, Texans, Commanders, potentially the Bengals as well. I mean, he underwent MRI on Monday, and the result showed that the injury was worse than expected, which is not what you want to hear from the Cowboys fans. And not just Dak Prescott, but I don't know. I haven't heard too much about CeeDee Lamb, but he was supposed to go undergo MRI last week. Trying to see. I don't know. I haven't really seen much about CeeDee Lamb other than one topic, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I haven't really heard much about it. But I mean, the Cowboys have really not been how they've been playing. Like from last year? Last year they were really good. Then obviously they got blown out by the Packers in the wild card. I mean, Prescott suffered the injury in the fourth quarter when he stepped up to throw and he had an awkward landing on his foot. Like it was kind of like the Patrick Mahomes injury, like he suffered it on Monday night, where he kind of like what do you call it? Like he kind of forced too much pressure on his right leg or his left leg, I guess. It kind of looked like that. I would say it's a non-contact injury. It was he kind of had an awkward landing on his stance or release, whatever you want to call it. But after the game, he said he felt something pull, and he said he'd never felt something like that before. Like I said, it did appear to be non-contact, at least what I saw. You can look it up. But I think it looked like a non-contact injury. Those are the worst injuries. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton suffered a non-contact or maybe barely contact injury against the Bengals on Thursday. We'll see how long he'll be out. I heard it's not serious, by the way. But I mean, while Prescott was on the bench, though, I mean, I saw this. I just saw a video. that apparently his left hand was like swollen and it was getting looked at. So he pretty much suffered 2 injuries in one game, which is not what you want to hear. Honestly, I'd be so like it's kind of like I don't know why, but there's some like really good football teams that are like I would say I had the Bills like going 10-7 this year, and they've absolutely blown that out of the water. And like there's some really bad teams from last year that are all of a sudden good, and really good teams from last year that are just playing really poor football. And the Bengals is one of them, and that's for sure positive about that. I don't know what's gonna happen next with the Cowboys. I think they need to fire Jerry Jones, but he's never gonna let him go. Jerry Jones said he's gonna make a couple trades. And he made one trade. He got Jonathan Mingo from the Panthers. Like at this point, you just need to start tanking. Just like I would get rid of Dak for a few draft picks, trade him or something, maybe to the Panthers or a team that needs a quarterback. We'll see what happens with Dak. I think he really needs to be let go. I think Jerry Jones needs to be let go. He's just like so annoying. Like something needs to change in Dallas, and I don't know what it's going to be or what it's going to take. We'll see. But Christian McCaffrey is set to return on Sunday for the first time all year, and the biggest fantasy bust of the year as well. In case you didn't know, McCaffrey was placed on IR during the offseason right before the season, and is set to play his first game of the year after he had, obviously he had Achilles tendonitis, I believe is what you call it, in both of his legs, and that's the reason he's been out all this time. And 49ers fans are probably saying it's about time because, I mean, the 49ers have not been playing to my expectations either. I'm going to see. The 49ers are 4-4. I mean, they're at 500, obviously, but they have to play the Buccaneers this week, which will be tough. You have the Packers 2 weeks from now. So, we'll see. Can he get back to old form? Madden curse is real. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, he has been dealing with, like I said, he had Achilles tendonitis. Then last year, McCaffrey put up very good numbers. I mean, Offensive Player of the Year, debatably MVP. I think he should have been. He had 272 carries for 1,459 yards and 14 touchdowns, 67 catches, 564 yards, and 7 touchdowns, and he led the NFL in rush yards. MVP numbers, obviously another running back won the MVP last year. No offense, it's Lamar Jackson. I'm still a little bit upset about last night, but like I am interested to see like how like McCaffrey will like how he will play, because I mean the fact that he was out for it was supposed to be like a 4-week injury, like it didn't look like it was gonna be out for too long, and then got pushed. He had to go to Germany to get his knee checked out. And I'm pretty sure he was probably in Germany around the time that I was in Germany. But I mean, it's kind of wild because like, I really hope that he can get back to his old form. I mean, if you guys haven't seen one of my shorts, the Rating Viewers Hot Takes, somebody said Christian McCaffrey won back-to-back Offensive Player of the Year. So obviously that was during the offseason. So we'll see if he can get back to his old form. We're going to rush through these final topics. I believe we have 3 more. So we're going to run through them here. Lions add Browns edge rusher Zadarius Smith. Very good addition for the Detroit there. I mean, they also received a 2026 7th-round pick with Zadarius Smith. I mean, while Cleveland does get a 5th-round pick, isn't the worst. But, yeah, I mean, the Browns have really fallen off from last year. I'm going to pull up their schedule from last year, because they were like the team that beat the 49ers 1 week. Let me see here. I'm going to have to go way back. Where's the preseason? Okay. You beat the Bengals, blow out the Bengals 24-3. You lose to the Steelers, beat the Titans, lose to the Ravens. You beat the 49ers. You beat the Colts by 1. That was a wild game. You lose to the Seahawks. You smoked the Cardinals 27-0. You beat the Ravens. You beat the Steelers. You lose to the Broncos. You lose to the Rams. You lose to the Jaguars. you beat the Bears, you lose the Texans, beat the Jets, lose to the Bengals last game of the year, and then they lost in the wild card. So, what were they? I mean, that was with Joe Flacco as well. So they went 11-6 on the year, which isn't bad, but obviously much worse than this year. I mean, but back to the Lions. I mean, through 9 games though this season, Smith has generated 5 sacks and 7 quarterback hits. Smith was excited to go to Detroit to play his 2 former teams, the Packers and Vikings. He'll get to play them twice a year now with the Lions. So, I mean, that was a really good trade for the Lions. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson with a season-ending injury, like broke his leg or something. Really big blow there. We're gonna run right through these last 2 topics because we still have power rankings, quick hits, predictions, recap, fantasy. We have all this stuff left, and it's been 25 minutes. So Steelers land Jets wide receiver Mike Williams in a trade. Originally Pittsburgh called weeks ago, but the 2 teams couldn't come to agreement until Tuesday. While the Steelers get I cannot speak today. What is wrong with me? The Jets get a 2025 5th round pick. And the Steelers get Mike Williams. I don't know why. I just lost it. During the offseason, though, Pittsburgh was trying to target Brandon Ayuk, which we all saw. We thought that would be a huge trade before he signed an extension with the 49ers, obviously. And then Williams is set to become a free agent in 2025, so obviously we'll see what happens with him by next year. The last topic. All right, Panthers extend running back Chuba Hubbard to a 4-year, $32.2 million deal. I mean, the max value of Hubbard's contract is $37.2 million. The new deal includes $15 million guaranteed. I mean, the former 4th-round pick in 2021 averages 5 yards a carry and 73.9 rush yards per game. I mean, 5 yards a carry is really good. I feel like much better than the Bengals average, that's for sure. I mean, through 9 games, though, he's generated 773 total yards and 6 total touchdowns. So, overall, pretty solid year for him. Good to see an extension. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he's coming off his rookie contract. So, we're going to go to quick hits now. We believe we only have 1 or 2, so this shouldn't take too long. We're going to go to it here. I mean, there are some topics. I guess I just now saw that Trevor Lawrence is unlikely to play this week, which is a huge blow to that Jaguars team. I think C.J. Beathard is going to start for him. But former Raiders head coach Norv Turner leaves retirement to serve as a senior advisor. Turner joins his son, Scott Turner, who is the interim offensive coordinator. Turner's coaching career was from 1985 to 2019, but he coached the Raiders from 2004 to 2005. And Turner won 2 Super Bowls, both with the Cowboys, and had a 114, 122, and 1 record as a head coach in the regular season. Our last quick hit. Vikings placed rookie kicker Will Reichard on IR. Reichard could return as early as week 14. I mean, Reichard is injured while... Let me see. Yeah, he got injured while he was kicking a field goal. I mean, he missed 2 in that game. I mean, the crazy part is, though, he scored the most points on Minnesota's roster with 65. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. The Vikings will turn to John Parker Romo, who has 0 NFL experience but has played in the XFL, or now called the UFL. Also, if you didn't quite hear me while I was talking before the quick hits, I said that Trevor Lawrence, I could not get the name in my head, that he is unlikely to play tomorrow at whatever time. So, reactions, we're going to get through these quick because we are going to go well over time. So, let me just make sure there's no more NFL news. I don't think so. No, I'm not seeing anything. All right. We're going to go to highlights and lowlights, I guess now is what we should call it now. The first one of the week, we're going to kick off with a highlight. Demarcus Robinson, the game-winning touchdown to win it in overtime against the Seahawks. All right, we're going to play it right now. 5:04 ticking, 20-20. Next score wins. Deep ball, one-handed snag. Demarcus Robinson pulls away with it and scores a touchdown to win the game for the Rams, 26-20 in overtime. What a game that was. Two pretty solid offenses and two really good defenses. I feel like it was a defensive game. I mean, we all know about the Seahawks defense is pretty solid. Rams is as well. But what a game. And the Rams got the job done. What a play there. We're going to go on to the next one quickly here. The Saquon Barkley backwards hurdle. This is something I've never seen before and one of the best plays I may have ever seen. Here we go. Time is ticking. 3rd and 6. Saquon Barkley. It's like a flat. He runs. It's just a simple check down. It breaks that tackle, spin move, and then backwards hurdle out of nowhere gets the first down. I don't know how he does that. And that was probably the highlight of the week. No doubt about that. Spin, and then backwards hurdle. I don't know how he does it. But very good job by Saquon Barkley there. We're going to go on to the next one. And Drake May. What a play by Drake May. I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, with 4 seconds on the clock, 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line. Here we go. Look at this. This play is absolutely insane. I mean, he's in the pocket, he has all the time in the world until that play, and then has to break some tackles. Like, the rush starts coming, basically. He throws it while he's getting sacked to Ramondre Stevenson for the game-tying touchdown. They went on to kick the extra point, and it was good. They went to overtime. The Titans eventually won with an interception. That was wild. I was watching it live. I was like, there was no way. I guess I saw the replay of it, I guess. But I'm telling you, Drake May is something special, and I hope they get him some weapons in the draft next year, because they're going to need some weapons outside of Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, 100% the play of the week. I mean, I'm going to say play of the week, I guess, but 100% very, very insane play. I mean, the rookie quarterback has been very good. We're going to go to the Rico Dowdle tip catch. I think we have it here. I could be wrong. Let's see. I don't know if we got it. Okay, yeah, we do. So I'm going to pull it up here real quick. This is another highlight. But yeah, it was a juggling act for sure. All right, here we go. 4:13 ticking, 14-3. Cowboys have the ball at the 3-yard line. He's under pressure. He escapes. Prescott looks. Simple toss, bobbles, and it is caught for the touchdown. What a play. What a highlight. One of the best plays of the week, I think. We've had multiple plays of the week this year. We're going to go to the Philly special by the Broncos. Bo Nix musses whoever the Ravens player is. Here we go. 10-0. The Broncos at the 1-yard line. Philly special here. He goes to Bo Nix and mosses that DB. Williams, number 32. You got mossed by a quarterback. Sure, Bo Nix can play receiver too. I mean, he grew up with Tez Johnson. He probably knows a little bit about receiving. I mean, just what a play. I think that was Cortland Sutton who threw that pass. Great pass. Great catch. What a play by Bo Nix. The last one, I think, the 61-yard field goal to win it. The Bills, after Tyler Bass's kicking struggles, if he can make a 61-yarder, I think he deserves to stay on the roster. 10 seconds left. Here he goes, 27-27, and he gets the game winner right down the middle. No doubter. With 5 seconds remaining, Tua's shocked. What a kick. Look at this. Right down the middle. He had plenty of leg. I mean, that was a wild kick. I mean, he kind of had a feeling he was going to make it before it even went in. But yeah, that was all for highlights and lowlights. We're going to go to power rankings really quickly. We're going to go well over time in this episode. So sit back, relax, and get some popcorn. We'll see if we might. This might be an every week topic. We'll see. Or I could just do community posts like I've done before. Number 32, the Saints. They dropped 5 spots. The Panthers at 31. They went up 1 spot. The Raiders dropped 6 spots to number 30. The Patriots dropped 1 spot to number 29. The Giants went up 2 spots to the number 28. The Titans went up 4 spots to go up to number 27. The Colts dropped 1 spot to go to number 26. And the Jaguars went up 1 spot to go to 25. At 24, the Jets went up 5 spots. At 23, the Browns dropped 4 spots. At 22, the Cowboys dropped 5 spots. At 21, the Dolphins went up 2 spots. And Seahawks, no change for them. The Bears dropped 5 spots to number 19. The Broncos also dropped 2 spots to number 18. The Cardinals went up 1 spot after the win over whoever they played. I can't remember. The Bears. They blew them out by 20 points. The Chargers went up 6 spots. The Buccaneers did not make any changes. Bengals went up 7 spots. Obviously, this was before Thursday night. The Texans dropped 5 spots at number 13. At number 12, the 49ers went down 1 spot. At number 11, the Rams went up 1 spot. At 10, the Falcons jumped 3 spots to go in the top 10. Here is the top 10. Obviously, like I said, the Falcons. At number 9, the Vikings went up 1 spot. Number 8, the Packers went down 1 spot. The Commanders dropped 2 spots as well. To number 7, the Steelers and Bills also dropped 2 spots. The Steelers at 6, and the Bills at 5. This is the top 5, right? The Bills dropped 2 spots at number 5. At number 4, the Eagles went up 2 spots. At number 3, the Ravens went up 6 spots. At number 2, the Chiefs did not make any changes. And number 1, the Lions did not make any changes. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go through the whole power rankings. I think I might, instead of just doing the top 5 or top 10 that way, because I already post like my power rankings on shorts, so you guys can see them there. Before we go to predictions, we're gonna go to the Week 9 recap. Okay. So, wild week, I will say. We're gonna start off with Thursday Night Football and Halloween. The Jets beat the Texans 21-13. The Panthers beat the Saints by 1, 23-22. The Commanders beat the Giants in a shockingly pretty close game, 27-22. The Bills, sorry, like I showed you earlier, won with the game-winning field goal for 61 yards, 30-27. The Chargers beat the Browns 27-10. The Titans won in overtime, like I just showed you, 20-17 with a field goal. The Falcons beat the Cowboys by 6 points, 27-21. The Bengals obliterated the Raiders 41-24. The Ravens also obliterated the Broncos 41-10. The Cardinals beat the Bears by 20 points, 29-9. The Eagles beat the Jaguars 28-23. In overtime, the Rams got it done with Demarcus Robinson one-handed catch for the win, 26-20 over the Seahawks. Lions 24-14. I guess they can play outside of a dome. Vikings 21-13 over the Colts on Sunday Night Football. And on Monday night, the Chiefs beat the Buccaneers in overtime 30-24. And with that being said, we're going to go to predictions. After that, we have start of sit-em, so we're still not quite done yet. Predictions, though. All right. Didn't start off the week that great. I feel I'm, 4-5 on Thursday night predictions all year. So let's just hope this streak ends. I had Cincinnati winning. Unfortunately, that did not go as planned. But anyway, Sunday morning football in Germany. I'm taking the Giants over the Panthers. I'm taking Chicago over New England. This is not morning games anymore. This is like 1 o'clock games. San Francisco at Tampa Bay. I'm taking San Francisco. Kansas City is going to run over Denver. I would not be surprised if it was a close game, honestly. I have Buffalo beating the Colts. Washington upsetting the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion. Minnesota over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Atlanta over New Orleans. And for the afternoon games, we have the Chargers over the Titans. The Jets over the Cardinals in a dogfight, I will say. Defensive game, offensive game, you name it. It's going to be a great game. And then I have Philly steamrolling Dallas for the afternoon game. On Sunday night, I'm taking the Lions over the Texans. That'll be a game to watch for sure. And then I'm taking the Rams over the Miami Dolphins. Right now, I'm sitting at a 78-57 overall record. I'm 0-1 on the week, and in the month of November, I'm In the month of November, I'm 7-4. So, with that being said, we're going to go NFL Fantasy, start them, sit them, then we'll get to the DNT Fantasy League. Hopefully. That's the goal. All right. Stardom. Quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels against the Steelers, Brock Purdy against the Buccaneers, Sam Darnold against the Jaguars, Drake May over the Bears, Jared Goff over the Texans, and Matthew Stafford over the Dolphins. Sit Patrick Mahomes against the Broncos, CJ Stroud against the Lions, Tua Tagovailoa against the Rams, Bo Nix against the Chiefs, and Caleb Williams against the... Who are they playing? I didn't even check. I just know just to sit Caleb Williams whoever they're playing, I guess. We're going to go to running backs, all right? Start DeAndre Swift against Patriots. Tony Pollard against the Chargers. Ramondre Stevenson against the Bears. Hopefully you all started Chase Brown this week because he was a start this week. And unfortunately, I did not start him. He had 22 points. That's the second week in a row where he's had 20-plus points, and I didn't start him. I mean, this set one of the best rushing defenses. I'm not going to start him. Anyway, start Najee Harris against the Commanders and Tyrone Tracy Jr. against the Panthers. Sit Bucky Irving and Rachaad White against the 49ers. Tank Bigsby against the Vikings. Javonte Williams against the Chiefs. Raheem Mostert against the Rams. And Jonathan Brooks against the Giants in Germany. All right, we're going to go to wide receivers now. Start Brian Thomas Jr. against the Vikings. George Pickens against the Commanders. Josh Downs against the Bills. Khalil Shakir against the Colts. Darnell Mooney against the Saints. And Calvin Ridley against the Chargers. Sit Marvin Harrison Jr. Against the Jets. Jalen Waddle against the Rams. Cortland Sutton against the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy against the Broncos. So that's all of our receivers. Deontay Johnson was also a sit, but obviously that happened Thursday. And yeah, he was right. I mean, he only had one catch for like 5 yards. So, all right, tight ends now. Start Cade Otton against the 49ers. Evan Ingram against the Vikings. TJ Hawkinson against the Jaguars. Dalton Kincaid against the Colts. And Hunter Henry against the Bears. Mark Andrews was also a start. Obviously, that was on Thursday. Sit Sam Laporta against the Texans. Cole Kmet against the Patriots. Pat Freiermuth against the Commanders. Dalton Schultz against the Lions. And Zach Ertz against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kickers and defenses is all we have left. We're going to go to kickers. Start Austin Seibert against the Steelers. Chris Boswell against the Commanders. Younghoe Koo against the Saints. Kami Fairbairn against the Lions. Blake Groupie against the Falcons. Jake Elliott against the Cowboys. Chase McLaughlin against the 49ers. Jake Bates against the Texans. Cameron Dicker against the Titans. Tyler Bass against the Colts. Sit Will Lutz against the Chiefs. Matt Gay against the Bills. Cam Little against the Vikings. Greg Zuerlein against the Cardinals. Joshua Carty against the Dolphins. Joey Sly against the Bears. And Nick Folk against the Chargers. And last but not least, Eddie Pinerio against the New York Giants. We're going to go to the last one. We are well over 40 minutes this week. As it was a packed full episode. Defenses. Start the Vikings defense against the Jaguars. The Chargers defense against the Titans. The Bears defense against the Patriots. The Patriots defense against the Bears. The Eagles defense against the Cowboys. All right. Sit the Texans defense against the Lions. The Broncos defense against the Chiefs. The Buccaneers defense against the 49ers. And the Cowboys defense against the Eagles. Right now in the Deacon's NFL Talk Fantasy League, I'm honestly not looking too shabby. 6-3 record, number 1 in the league, and I believe number 1 in my division, or second. It says second, I could be wrong. Currently on a 2-game win streak, and hopefully that'll continue. I'm up against Cannonball 99, and I am winning 93.12 to 51.70 after the Thursday night game. Let me give you a quick first. I'm gonna go a quick overview of how Thursday night went for me. All right. So, I have Joe Burrow as my starting quarterback, and he put up 33.72 points. Okay. And then I had Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase put up 55 points. I'm not even kidding. This is NFL fantasy. Also, the Ravens defense got 4 points. But Jamar Chase, 11 receptions, 264 yards, and 3 touchdowns, got me 55 points against the Ravens. And if I had started Chase Brown, I would have added another 22.40 points. I would have been smoking Cannonball 99. I still kind of am. But I would have been smoking him even more. I would have been beating him like, 123, 113. I would have been blowing him out of the water. I mean, Burrow had 428 yards for 4 touchdowns and 6 rushing yards. He got 33.72 points. It's looking good. I kind of wish I started Chase Brown over Joe Mixon because, I mean, they are playing the Lions this week, so that was unfortunate. No question of the week this week. Packed full episode. So that will be it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please hit the like, the subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified of every single upload this channel makes. I'm going to see if there's any more NFL last-minute news. That way it's not as jam-packed as last week. I did see Will Levis is expected to start after being sidelined to a shoulder injury. So that seems like it's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next week for another great episode on Deacon's NFL Talk.